Hey all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the south, more specifically Dillon, South Carolina, and even more specifically than that, I am at the attraction known as South of the Border. Now what is south of the border, you may ask? And that is a question without an easy answer. You see, south of the border, in its purest form, is a truck stop. But it is not just any truck stop. It is possibly, maybe say, the tackiest place on earth, the kitschiest place on earth, the place with the most strange fiberglass creatures on earth. Driving down that freeway right back there somewhere, you will be bombarded with signs with this man's face plastered all over them. Pedro, the mascot for south of the border. His face can be found on literally almost anything on the grounds here, on the billboards leading up here, begging you to stop for this magnificent place. Honestly, you'll never, ever find a place like this. It's hard to put into words, so I guess I'll just show you the wonders that are south of the border. Now that is a horse of a different color. Oh, there we go, a little alligator. Got a cow here. We see the many layers, that he has been many different colors over the years. This guy as well, looks like he's been painted about 1,000,000 times. As much as some of this seems neglected, the fiberglass statues actually appear to receive new paint jobs constantly. Like every time I've been here, it seems like they're all completely different colors. Now behind me is the magnificent and gigantic Sombrero Tower here at South on the Border. Actually, I have been up there to the top. Sadly, the elevator that takes you to the top is out of order today. I think it may have been out of order for quite some time now. I think it's, or either that, it's kind of intermittent whether it works or not. But this is what you see when you're cruising down the highway, a giant sombrero, and you say to yourself, how can I not stop here? Now here we have Pedro as a hummingbird. That, for some reason, is incredibly disturbing. Look at his nose. Ugh. That weirds me out. Now this is the Amusement Park section of South of the Border, and I do not believe it has been in operation in years. As you can see, some carnival style rides behind me. We have a carousel that's covered up. They used to have a spinning sombrero ride that was actually pretty cool looking, but that appears to be gone. Behind me we got a Ferris wheel, and over here we got some planes. Some mini golf course behind me. I'd like to think that at some point this was pretty cool. It's kind of sad to see it all decrepit. You can see Pedro over there. Why not? Let's have a seat. Oh! Okay, this is made for very small children, but I do not think I'm going to be able to get out of here. I believe this is where the spinning sombrero ride used to be. It looked really cool, but it is gone. I wonder if it turned up somewhere else. It was actually featured in the movie. Forces of Nature, starring Ben Affleck. I recommend that movie. Plot's not all that great. The way it's shot's very cool. They filmed some of it here at south of the border. Also in Savannah, Georgia, just some really cool shots. Got some bumper cars there. I'd go climb around in there, but south of the border security just cruised by. I don't know if they'd be happy about that. Of course, we have the south of the border convention center. I think a lot of this stuff just reminds you this may have been a much bigger deal at one point. It's kind of like half abandoned. There's a little bit going on, but a lot of it just kind of sitting empty. There behind me, as you can see, we have not only the Sombrero Tower up there in the background, but we have a building shaped like a sombrero. It actually used to be a steakhouse, of all things. Not a Mexican restaurant, but a steakhouse. Son of a... Here is Pedro's Myrtle Beach shop. We are not at Myrtle Beach. We are at south of the border. See, there's a pretty awesome whale right there. If you look, it promises that if we go inside, we will see a great white shark. Now, I believe that no one has successfully kept a great white shark in captivity, but I have confidence in Pedro. A Pedro mouse? It reminds me of somebody. Words of advice. Now, perhaps one of the most impressive sights at south of the border is this big guy behind me. Look, he is absolutely massive. Now, don't quote me on this, but I heard somewhere that this is actually technically the biggest sign on the East Coast. so you can see how freaking massive he is. So I walk under his crotch to the other side. Very, very massive, very, very cool. Now, south of the border actually has an on-property hotel, as you can see behind me. And I can proudly say that I've actually stayed back there in that hotel, and my wife will never forgive me. Above the bed there was about it's a massive water leak, like leaning into our faces. Not the lap of luxury. So, if you're like my wife and enjoy clean, comfortable hotel rooms, you may want to just keep moving along the freeway. And there's just tons of gift shops here. Just an inordinate amount of gift shops that sell postcards, back scratchers, sombreros, just all sorts of crap that you can load up with your car, give to your friends, give to your family, and let them know that you've been here to south of the border. Now, one may wonder, why is there a Mexican-themed truck stop and wonderland in South Carolina? It actually was created based on a fairly simple gag, and that is that right here in Dillon, South Carolina, it sits right below the North Carolina state line. It is south of the North Carolina border, became known as south of the border, and they took a theme and they ran with it. Now, it has actually been discussed in some circles if there ever was a day where the two Carolinas, North and South, could put aside their differences and become one massive state known simply as Carolina, that this would be the capital of Carolina. Of course, this is South Carolina, so one thing that you must stock up on is fireworks. Now see, seems like every so often, a lot of states outlaw fireworks or put heavy restrictions on fireworks, but South Carolina, in this cluster of states, is the one state where you can buy just about anything you want. So come here, 3 in the morning, stock up on a vast amount of dangerous explosives, fill your trunk up, take them home, set them off, the neighbors won't care. Now, one denizen of the open road that you don't see too often in the South is the jackalope. But here, south of the border, they have a blue jackalope. And actually ride this jackalope, I would happily hop up on top of this jackalope, but I don't think that I would be able to get down. Perhaps the only place where you can find a sombrero wearing dinosaur. Now this building behind me has been many different things. I believe at one point it was an indoor golf course, and then it was, I guess, where they sold like concrete statues. It was kind of like a miniature golf course with a bunch of concrete statues laid out. Now, excitingly enough, it is the Reptile Lagoon. I guess there is an alligator exhibit in there, and to celebrate, you can see that Pedro actually has a alligator covered tunic. Very, very cool. Alright, I'm inside the Reptile Lagoon, and behind me is the massive American alligator Hopi. Look at that guy. Man, I love alligators. You can actually see how the old inside miniature golf has been repurposed into a reptile area. It's by that suspiciously sombrero-shaped little turtle house right there. Oh my God. Look at that frickin' snake. Little Chinese alligator. Hey, buddy. These weird gorillas in with all the reptiles. Hey, Mr. Anaconda. Uh-oh. That guy might consider getting the hell out of there. Alligator food? You can pretend that you're Pedro being killed by a snake. Ay, ay, ay. I must say that reptile house actually pretty cool. I've actually not seen a place that had like that many different kinds of crocodiles and alligators, and I am a true fan of both crocodiles and alligators. No alligator wrestling, no jumping shows, but just a good, solid selection of crocodilians. Me and Pedro appreciate you watching and joining us on our trip through south of the border. Check out more of this at www.thecarpetbagger.org. I appreciate it.